going to be feeling pretty good with the 4-on-4. forZe with so much time as well, they can slow this down. They could look to work back over and get short control if they wanted, on top of having the long control, so they could set up a split. Or they could just do what they're doing right now, which is setting up 3 players in the B tunnels, which I think is probably one of the less likely plays in this situation. So that's likely why they're coming in with a hoping that Cyber Legacy would have begun to have actually rotated a few players over. The issue is it's pretty much a full B stack at the moment. 3 CTs already in position, including the op of Tricky, that's just going to be given these chances over and over again. Actually ends up dropping the bomb and the molly as well. It will be retrieved thanks to the smoke, but at this point FaceCrack and Flet are left to save the day in what's going to be a pretty difficult 2-on-3. If they can somehow get this bomb up short, that would be a miracle, and actually let them have a good chance in the round, but that works as well. Oh, this is just falling apart for Cyber Legacy. Did they hear Tricky rotate through the spawn? The issue is they still have to go forward. Look at the time. Oh, they just get the kill. That works as well. 16-9. What a crazy round. And what a fantastic recovery right there from FaceCrack and Flit.
That was insanity. That was insanity.
Yeah.
It felt like the playbook just got tossed out the window in those last couple of rounds. They started making very individual plays. I mean, in that round, they have a player completely, they're into a 2v3, 2v4, and they've just got the players completely isolated towards either side of the map, and it somehow works out. Even in that last moment, 7 seconds on the clock, hiding might have been viable there, at least until they forced through. But I think wanted to reposition with the op, and that winds up costing them. So, whew, whatever it is, the first map is claimed by forZe, even if those last few rounds were unusual, shall we say. They do take their opponent's map pick.
Normally you know what you're going to see on Dust 2, but not in this game. There was some crazy moments that I'm sure are kind of one of a kind right there. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Inferno as well, guys, and I would imagine everyone in the chat is, and make sure you stick around, guys, because it won't be too long before we actually do head over to that map, but before then, we are going to have to send it to a quick break.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
To tell everyone about AT&T's big 5G news.
AT&T has nationwide 5G?
Yep.
And that's faster?
Faster, yeah.
But is it reliable?
Uh-huh, and secure.
You should consider making a big deal about it.
Bigger?
I said bigger.
Oh, bigger deal, bigger than what I'm doing?
It's not complicated. A 5G network needs a 5G device. Now everyone, including existing customers, can get a free Samsung Galaxy Note 20 after trade-in.
The future waits for no one, so we refuse to wait for it. Today, battles are waged in nanoseconds, and planes are piloted from the other side of the world. The future's not coming, it's already here. Join us and be the future.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams.
Smoke clears, I'll still be on my feet. Forget all of my fears, cause I know my destiny. I feel a champion waking inside of me. It's emotion, the legend's spoken. This is my moment. Can't break my focus, know where I'm going. This is my moment. You see me coming, better run for cover. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. They're looking at us, an audience. Keep telling us what we can do, but here we are, showing them, making them wish they were you. We've heard the most when it comes to this. Yeah, every shade of blue, but don't even care what they'll say. They think we're out of control. Yeah, truth be told, we know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. Cause that we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. We love the thrill. They're looking at us.
I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Savage, you've been distracted, your best my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I ain't need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Heard that, wonder when I'm gonna peak at. And that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting the blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now.
Look at me that way. It broke my heart to see. It was a moment of darkness, a moment in time that I regret for being so heartless. It was a moment of darkness. Look at me that way. It broke my heart to see. It's too hard, it don't come easy. I went dark, I lost it right away. And when it starts, God knows what I'll say. In my head, I had good reason. I went red so unexpectedly. I should have said that sometimes happens to me. Of darkness.
Alrighty everyone, welcome back, and indeed we are hopping straight into the second map here. Obviously we had forZe taking map number 1 in a pretty convincing fashion. It looked like early on we were going to have Cyber Legacy maybe putting up a strong performance with the initial 4-0 lead even, but they only managed to just about double that total scoreline by the end. So we'll see if they can do any more here on Inferno, but it's not going to be easy. But they certainly want to try and bring it to forZe. Look at this ridiculous aggression down mid that so far has actually worked out dang well, because forZe, he ends up getting even that final headshot. Almazar falls, and there we go. Cyber Legacy with another pistol round for themselves.
And we saw this at the beginning of Test 2 as well, right? A very dominant pistol round that came out. They absolutely smacked forZe, and then everything fell apart from there. So we'll see. Last time they managed to get 4 rounds off of it, and it looked quite good for them. But that initial force buy was a little bit risky. So I'm curious to see if this time they can maybe convert this a bit cleaner. 3 players headed towards B initially. Presumably going to see some utility, maybe some aggression.
Lost X-ray
on Banana as well. You're just going to have to repeat the command. I think it's whatever it is, like reconnecting does it. A little bit of tag damage on the Tricky. So this could get tricky, and he'll fall away. I'm going to float that third player back over, which makes a lot of sense here. And as these angles get tighter, this could get very interesting indeed. No, they stick with the third player on B. This is a hard read, and it's absolutely the incorrect one. A flashbang there to support his player on the balk, but there's no one to be seen here. And meanwhile, the wrap is coming through from Arch, and just now they come back down towards Banana. So now they're condensing the angles, but CIS gets 2. That's big kills to find. forZe following it up. forZe might just lock this all down, but no, can find no more. Quack's back into the angle. And Flit continuing to do damage, so this is getting risky. Flit down to 6 HP, and Tricky close enough that I don't think he's going to get this bomb plant off. He'll try and commit to it, but Tricky denies. Disaster averted, but once again, Cyber Legacy, a little bit risky in those anti-ecos.
Yeah, not taking the rounds as cleanly as you would want to, but I think kind of a positive to actually going aggressive on those earlier anti-eco rounds is then that you put it in the mind of your opponent that they should be expecting that aggression, even if you aren't going to be planning on doing it into towards even the opening gun round, for example. And if you can force your opponents to play maybe a little bit slower than they would want to normally because they're expecting that aggression, then that can be a pretty big help to you. So maybe that's what they were aiming for, but yeah, they ended up taking, honestly, way too much damage in that round right there. And with that, we see the buy even coming in from forZe again. That's a risky play, but we'll see if it pays off. If it does, it'll pay off pretty big time. Double nade, I think, being too deep to really do any substantial damage. But pretty quickly being returned, and Clax, he gets overrun. Thankfully, the smoke is at least dropped to stop the immediate follow-up onto the B-bomb site with the commitment. But they've got themselves a man advantage, and they've got an MP9 to add to what already is a fairly scary amount of weaponry with an AK and some pistols.
They could just leave if they want to. They can leave their friends behind, because if their friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, then they ain't no friends of theirs. Oh, big play from forZe. He's certainly not dancing anymore. He's been shot straight between the eyes, out of play. Now all pressure on the Tricky, and they are coming. There's a Molotov on him. He can't even get one bean. This is 5 players alive with the bomb plant going down. Now an extra rifle found, Banana locked, and in an anti-force spy, they have to save. Seized and Glowing just gonna have to tuck tail and run, and because last round was so expensive as well, they're definitely not gonna be able to cleanly reinvest back into this one. I mean, this is a catastrophe. forZe rolling away with it. They absolutely made the correct call reinvesting in the force. They knew they had gotten so close, and it's like, you know what? I bet we can run them over with pistols this round. I bet they won't be expecting us to do it twice in a row, and they were absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, that couldn't have really worked out any better for them, if we're being honest. They've managed to keep everyone alive. They've gotten a free M4 out of it. The MP9 as well, that's not as big of a deal, obviously, but having that extra rifle now that they don't have to buy up for themselves is just fantastic. Thankfully for Cyber Legacy, at least 2 players survived, but I mean, only had lived with 2 in the previous round that they had won out as well, so they don't really have a lot of money to be reinvesting now. They'll get what they can. Tricky, thankfully, can buy for himself. I believe Glone was able to drop one over there to Clax. I'm not sure if he went with the FAMAS, maybe it was, perhaps. I think it may have been in order to get the extra little bit of utility himself, and yeah, I'm fine with that. forZe are unfortunately going to be stuck down to the P250. It's not the worst buy we've ever seen here for Cyber Legacy, and is honestly better than I expected, considering the damage they'd taken in that previous round. But yeah, forZe, once they get rolling, they can be so difficult to stop, and you definitely didn't want to be giving away that previous round here to them on what is probably their strongest map.
Interesting that Almaze is sticking on the Tech 9 here. Presumably saving up to buy the AWP in the next round regardless of what happens here, but they've already taken hallway control. Look at this. Now the flashbang's going to come out. Here's the Hall's pop. Tricky should be well positioned for this, but no! Oh my! He had it read, and Almazo just does not care. You can do whatever you think. It doesn't matter. CIS is trying to pull a very sneaky play off in the smoke. He will find one, but one's just not enough. He couldn't deny the plant. He's being harassed here by bullets. They know he's here. They just don't much need to care. Use utility to push him on back out of it, and his teammates will come into support. But with a player deep down mid, they've got an insurance policy, and that insurance policy is named Flit. Meanwhile, Z-Power takes CIS, deals with him, and this is just turning from bad to worse. forZe stuck in by Moto. forZe, not long for this world.
Yeah, that's all for this round anyway. I want to ask, what was your dancing reference you were going for earlier? I didn't get it at all. I'm sorry.
Really? Safety dance?
Nah.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind, because if your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, then they ain't no friends of mine.
No, what's that from? I'm very confused.
It's the safety dance. God, when's the safety dance from? The 80s?
Oh, okay, it's probably
Safety
more of an
dance.
American thing, maybe.
Men Without Hats. I feel like it was global, but maybe it's just an American thing. I don't know, man. It's disco.
Maybe. I felt
Disco,
bad for not
baby.
responding to your reference, so I figured I'd ask, give you the chance to explain it. I'm sure plenty of people in the chat got it anyway. Maybe I'm just stupid, but but yeah, full eco here, so not a lot going on. It should be a fairly easy round for forZe. I would imagine this stack from Cyber Legacy, if the push comes in this direction, maybe you could pull off 1 or 2 kills, but I wouldn't be expecting too much more. forZe are a team that can certainly overcome these rounds just up against USPs without really losing too much. And already have got themselves pretty much all the control across the map that they could ask for. They have a player even wrapping around in through the arch, full banana control, full mid control. And yeah, they're going to be able to just clean this one up. They I believe, are just going to take it towards B. I'm surprised they're leaving 2 around here. I guess to keep those players in position as long as they can.
1982, by the way.
1982. Yeah, so it was a good
Canadian band. Men Without Hats. Oh, face crack. Oh, face crack. He's just walked all the way around them. He's gotten one, only one. Okay, USP's pretty effective here. Not going to get much more. Face crack maybe feeling a bit silly here. But the question remains, can CIS do anything with this found AK, or does he just want to seize the moment and save it? Bomb has a long rotate to go through, 34 seconds. forZe have not left themselves a lot of cushion here. They better get a move on. They better get some pep in their step, because if this bomb gets dropped at any point in the transition, they're up the creek. Tricky only has a USP to do it, though. That's a problem. Flit those low. 41 health. 15 seconds. A mistake could be made here, but now he's crossed, and okay, this is the round over.
It pretty much just needed to be a lucky spam through the smoke right there if they wanted any chance of stopping it. So, yeah, it maybe could have been a little bit scary for forZe if anyone was in position right there, but at least having that deep construction control, they knew they could put a smoke down pretty easily and actually get onto the bomb site. If CIS had been in position with the AK, I mean, we would have been looking at something maybe completely different, but obviously he was miles away, unfortunately. Fortunately, that means he can also just go ahead and save the AK, so at least they will have that here in the next round. But yeah, forZe taking themselves the lead here early on, going to be going up 3-2, and that's even with, of course, the initial pistol round having gone the way of Cyber Legacy, so we're going to need to see them really pick it up once again once they get the guns. And this is worrying, because it was the CT side of Dust 2 that we just seen them struggle on so much. Being told to contain your cringe, Mike. He's the one cringing, so should it not be him that has to contain his cringe? I'm not sure what way that works.
I can't do it. This is the way life is meant to be here, Dean. Lean into the cringe.
Just go with the flow.
Cyber Legacy definitely going to be cringing, though, here for a moment, because it's...
yeah, I mean, looking back at round number 3, probably.
Yeah, certainly. So now they've got a chance to rewrite history. They've got a chance to right the ship. Put it back on course. The problem is now Z-Power has an off. And there's a lot of money on forZe. And Z-Power is already going to make that known. Face crack doesn't immediately get traded out. And this actually doesn't work out very well for forZe. As you can see, the health remaining on Jerry. 4 points. Z-Power not looking a whole lot better. Hitting at the 44. Lots of 4s and none of them looking good for forZe.
No, not at all. They unfortunately don't even get the control of Banana for the kind of effort that they put out there with losing the player and nearly losing Jerry, as well as taking obviously a considerable amount of damage onto Z-Power. So Even just having Z power down low as well is going to kind of limit what he can do with the op in terms of going for those opening kills to return the round back in their favor. So we'll see what exactly the plan is going to be. Still a minute remaining, and for now, we're really yet to budge from the bottom of mid. Everyone right now just down here. I mean, 3 of them have just come out of the underpass, and with that are going to look to actually bring it over towards B. At the moment, sure, you see there's only one player in position, but he's playing for the info. He has a smoke den that he can drop, and with that, it should also allow for Klax to quickly rotate back over. As I was initially starting to say that sentence, to be fair, he was a little bit closer playing around Speedway, and now is actually beginning to move back in, so that is probably the correct timing as we see the rest of the T is now group on Banana.
Seconds. Once again, no time to spare. That Molotov might ruin them. Oh, they were actually there. Molly's coming in towards the new box. Here comes the play. Tricky's got one, Klax has the other. This round's over. They don't have time. They don't have time. They have to run into it. Tricky's won the round for them. This is all done. Z Power. He'll get the last shot, so well done, to be quite frank, to make this so dang expensive for Cyber Legacy. But forZe just did not leave themselves enough time to make that happen.
No, not at all. I mean, there was just 2 flashes in terms of the utility for Cyber Legacy. As you'd said, you thought it was a Molotov. It was actually forZe who were throwing in their own Molotov, and then they ended up getting blinded. Thankfully, that didn't block their way, but they still didn't have enough time. Just being blinded for the 1 or 2 seconds that it was able to hold them off the angle and just slow the push down. It left them with no time at all. And yeah, I mean, you said it was nearly an issue before. This time it does end up costing them the round. The question is now, can they bounce back from it? As Cyber Legacy are showing some serious aggression here to actually kick this round off. They've already got 1 player up close to the bench, pushed all the way down mid. I believe that's seized with the AK. It depends how long he holds this position for, but this could really work out, especially if it ends up being a quicker B play from forZe. But it doesn't look like that. It seems like they've got the banana control early on, and now they'll probably try and see what they can find around mid and such. Haven't spotted Seas, though that may influence them to do something else. Oh, and Flit actually gets both of them popping out a boiler. I don't know how that has worked out so well for him. There's still 1 more player here, but it's only Glowing with a FAMAS.
They did not pull the ripcord on that early enough. Glowing initially took the fight in towards hallway, right? Knew that Flit was there. As soon as Flit's there, it puts so much threat onto that setup in towards mid. They have to get out of there. You have to bail. I know it's tough when you've gotten that much ground to give up, but it's a sunk cost fallacy. Now the alert comes in. Spacecraft gets 1 and the second. Klax just didn't have the spray to connect, and forZe will retake the lead. Very nicely played, particularly from Flit in the apartments. He just found the perfect spot to thwart everything that Cyber Legacy wanted to do, and they did not react to his presence fast enough. So he punishes them, he finds a 2 in towards mid. From that point on, even though he loses his life to the balcony player with a FAMAS, it's pretty much over, right? It's just done.
I think the issue there was that they had Glowing so passive in the apartments, because obviously they had 1 player push down mid, 1 player watching for the second mid peek in so that he's not going to get flanked out. They needed Glowing not just sitting back on the balcony, but rather up close in the apartments where he could spot if someone was able to jump up and get that control, because otherwise he has boiler control and can do exactly what we just seen. So yeah, that round really did fall apart for Cyber Legacy. I like that they're showing the confidence and they're willing to try and play their own game, but in that case, unfortunately, just backfires and has now actually put them in a position where, unfortunately, they're going to be giving over likely 5 rounds already to the T side, which will, at that point, mean they'll want to be near flawless from that point forward. Be completely open. I like the gamble stack. Unfortunately, it is just that, a gamble, which this time hasn't paid off.
The question now becomes, how many kills does Flit get? It's like shooting fish in a barrel. He spotted the first. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, Flit. Zeus now has a Zeus. This is viable. Oh, Flit suddenly under pressure. That's a few too many pistols pointed his way. Flit will go down. Not going to be much more to find for it, to be fair. They can't get to the gun. Everybody can just babysit this like a mother goose. There's no chance that Cyber Legacy are going to be able to scrape one of these pistols or one of these rifles away, rather, especially as forZe. Never mind, forZe wins that duel with a USB. Are you kidding me? I don't think he can get it. He's going to try, but Z-Power makes sure that that won't happen. Still, a couple of kills take what was looking to be a blank slate round and make it just a little bit damaging. I don't think forZe are going to lose too much sleep over this one, though.
No, they have plenty of money onto most of their players anyway.
Yeah.
Face crack is a little bit low, but considering you have then Almazar above 10,000, you have Jerry on 7,400, Z-Power coming up on 10,000, they're not going to be worrying. They can drop those weapons and such if needed. So it is going to have to be Cyber Legacy taking a few rounds in a row at least. And unfortunately, even though they did take the eco in the previous, they still don't have enough quite to buy here. I think they could have just about pulled it out, but it would have been with maybe just the rifles and body armor, or perhaps they would have had to have gone for FAMASs and such again. So they don't want that. They just want to make sure they can get everything that they need into the next round. The issue is that at that point they're going to be giving up. Well, not giving up. I guess they are still fighting for this round, but it means most likely we're going to see forZe on 6 already. And at that point, if they add anything else to that 6, they're just going to be looking fantastic, and it's going to be just such a difficult recovery for Cyber Legacy. So they're going to need to be flawless to pull it back up to 9 rounds. Oh, going through this B smoke? Is this the plan? This is wild.
It doesn't really work, but Flit finds 2 kills. Just doing Flit things, doing his own thing, making it happen. And a nade to follow up on foStar as well, who's trying to snag that gun. Does put a bit of the hurting on. Clax can at least get something here, I think, probably get the upgrade, but that's probably all they're gonna have in the next round. Jerry does get claimed. So once again, rounds that were looking maybe clean get a bit expensive, but the bomb down to round 1, and the best thing Clax can do. There is a rifle down here, right? I believe. There is. He's walked right past it.
Has he not noticed? Oh,
now he was just securing banana, I guess, before he made the gun drop noise. But Clax will at least get this AK to save through. That's really all he can hope for.
Yeah, that makes sense. If there was someone behind the wall when he was trading out for the AK, he would have been pretty much dead. So clearing it probably was a good idea. As you said, yeah, trying to save this over now so that they have it to work with in this next round. I don't know how worthwhile. At least they get the 2 kills, and it's not like they fully invested. It was only the half investment, but it kind of makes the fact that they went for Kevlar and a lot of the players not all that worthwhile, because again, 2 kills isn't going to do really much considerable damage at all, just because the economy is already so strong for forZe. But the AK, that certainly helps out a lot. It's going to give Clax, who only has 4750, the ability to get all of the nades he could want, and potentially get the helmet. I don't know if he had taken armor damage. He must have, because he's not able to get the 350 upgrade, or maybe he just wants a kit instead. That would be handy. A couple other players could also pull out another kit. They have one unseized, but normally you'd like at least 2, just in case one of them gets dropped in a position where it's very difficult to recover.
Clax's knife is named Ingrid. I want to know the story behind that one.
Maybe a girlfriend giving it to him or something?
A girlfriend, maybe. Big Ingrid Bergman fan, maybe. I think yours is probably more likely.
Yeah, but maybe it probably wouldn't have just been her name then, or maybe he named it himself, yeah. Unless he has a girlfriend who plays the game, because I know sometimes they did gift knives and just put parts and stuff on them. Just their name.
It'd be funny if she gave him a knife that was just named after herself.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what
I'll
I'm thinking.
be with
just
you
the
on
name
stream always.
he named it. But yeah, here we go. Opening kill for Cyber Legacy. That's a good start into what is pretty much a necessary round for them to pick up. Lots of pressure being put on towards B, and this is where the commitment is going to come in, but it's been massively delayed and is allowed already for quite a few rotations to come in. The kill's still not really being found for the CTs though. FaceCrack and Jerry both being able to open up B, and those smokes that had to be put down because of the Molotovs just made it so awkward. They couldn't really see what was going on as the push came in.
Looks like they're going to force this retake as well. 3v4. It's not impossible for sure. They'll be able to segment out these 2 players on banana, but they still got to get past FaceCrack. That they do. One more threat. It's Jerry. Jerry does enough, and here's the hop up just for the spot. Now they have to fall off of it, but they're just trying to harass him by time. No utility. If they had a nade or a molly, this would be a done deal, but the spam is good. The shot's better.
There we go, yeah. No kit even on Tricky. He has to put it forward to get the kill, which obviously means at that point there's just no time, even if he did have one in play. Yeah, well played. You've seen the mad spams just coming through the smoke, trying to keep them off the bomb pretty much as long as they could right there. That boost, it's risky because once you get spotted, of course, if the spam comes in below at the kind of bottom level, then they're usually going to kill the player boosting them up, and usually as well find the player dropping down into the bullets completely defenseless. But yeah, it ended up working out for them in that situation, got them that info to play over the smoke, and has brought forZe already up to 7. Cyber Legacy are going to come straight back into a buy again, and that's thanks to the loss bonus being built up. But without money being left over like they did from the previous one, losing these rounds could be putting them onto ecos, and oh god, they try the mid-aggression again. This time they don't even get anywhere near the bench. Instead, it is going to be Z-Power that benches them.
Oh, the skewer shot. You love to see it. Not so much if you're on
Nasty.
Cyber Legacy's side. That is just pure nastiness. Tricky really has to come up with something huge here if they're going to have any hope. He does catch Z-Power at least. The elbow sticking around the corner just a bit. Problem is Tricky's life's now lost. And suddenly, this is within the realm of possibility. Both players go down trying to force this fight towards top mid. They have B, so the bomb will be planted. It is a 2-on-2 retake, but this is frankly the best chance that Cyber Legacy have had in a very long time. They'll split up to make the retake happen. One player working their way up banana, that's glowing. Meanwhile, we're going to have forZe coming back in from spawn. Just made a footstep, so Jerry knows there's one here. Has that audio cue. forZe has to get past this doorway, and Jerry's just going to go forward. Jerry at a very odd off angle. There's no way forZe is expecting him to be just here out in the open. And he's going to see the shadow. There's the kill. Now they can condense onto glowing, and far too much time's gone off the clock. Great shot from glowing. But the molly should seal it. The molly doesn't land. No, it does cover off the bomb just enough. That's the round one. Glowing, he'll get the op, but he'll get out of there. And at this point, an op found is just not enough for Cyber Legacy.
No one lives for forZe, so again, weapons at least being taken out of their hands relatively consistently, but they just had so much money built up from the initial few rounds that it doesn't matter. They've been kind of keeping around the same area the entire time. Even after this full reinvestment onto all 5 people, they have enough in the reserve for another full buy with no trouble at all. So it's going to have to be Cyber Legacy just coming back and taking pretty much these 4 remaining rounds as convincingly as they possibly can if they want to recover this half into a position where they'll be feeling comfortable or happy at all, I guess is another way to put it. What is the goal? forZe, I think, wanting that banana control early on, and this time taking a nade for it, which takes down 3 players into a pretty weak position, especially when it's those M4s in play and when there's an MP9 as well. Bringing a few players down, pretty much negating the effects of the helmets, rather. That helps so much.
Look at how far up Seized is. He's all the way through TAPS at this point.
I didn't even notice that.
He just straight has been holding W out of apartments. There's no way they're expecting this. Flit would be the first victim. No, Flit's ready for it.
He must have stepped.
I guess Flit's used to Seized. Did he step or did
maybe
Seized just know?
I was thinking that'd be the only way you could get there so quickly. But
I think Seized. I think Flit literally just thought, you know what? No one was watching apartments this whole round. I bet Seized has pushed this.
True. Yeah.
I bet somebody
I wasn't able
has.
to watch him specifically because I'm just getting what the observer's showing us. But yeah, I'm sure Seized himself is probably a little bit mad that that one went down as it did, that he wasn't able to do anything with the flank. I was gonna say it shouldn't matter too much considering they were sitting in a 4-on-2. But peeking Almazar over on Banana, it proves to be a fatal mistake right now for Cyber Legacy.
Oh man, they've given it right back. Right? They had so much rope to play with, and they've just burned it all. There's a player back by Nubox, glowing. Could find the timing here. Almeza's not looking for it. Almeza's not checking. They had no idea he was still here. And now Z-Power is stuck between a rock and a hard place. As that smoke fades, he's going to be dead to Tricky. So Cyber Legacy do recover. And that's critical, but only 2 alive here, Dean. They're going to be able to reinvest, but it's pretty much going to drain their bank once more. And forZe, if they can come back with another win, that'll just be the stake driven through the heart of Cyber Legacy.
Yeah, forZe are happy to trade back and forth at this point because obviously they're going to be the ones who are coming out better, and that the CT side, that little bit extra you need for the full buys, and it's a little bit extra fragile that the economy is, it can cost you, and it certainly could cost Cyber Legacy now if they aren't able to win this one out. And yeah, the peek down mid, that is risky. This time only 1 player ends up dying at least to the shot from Z-Power, but that's still 1 too many in this situation.
I imagine Z-Power is such a frustrating player to play against if you're an
He's been insane since the first time I seen him.
He just, yeah, he's always putting the fear. In a 1-to-1 fight, you don't want your odds against him, right? Unless you're like simple on the server, most players aren't going to want that straight up fight on timing. He's just absurd. Glowing. The angle just outside the smoke. If this fades or Flit comes through, Glowing should have this kill. And there are 4 players here, but the problem is that's because they've stacked. Everybody's here. And Flit's just the lurk. As we've come to know, he just waits around in apartments to see what damage he can do. Meanwhile, the rest of his team's going to realize the B bomb site is ripe for the taking. And it's open for business. Bomb plant comes in. Flit even gets a kill. Just that 1 kill is enough. He really doesn't need any more. And this round's been won. And he's just going to stay around and see what damage he can do. He's the wolf amongst sheep. Trying to find some more prey. And Cyber Legacy, they can't give him anything. They've got no more money here, Dean. They're broke.
Yeah. It's really the only option, as you were, I would presume, hinting at, is to save and ensure they can at least have a few weapons to work with in this next round here. Oh, trying to peek mid. That's a risky one. I guess not expecting the op to still be chilling down there, which is kind of fair considering they have the B bomb site. But as we can see for forZe, they have so much, well, they don't have so much money, but they have enough money considering we're coming into the last couple rounds that they can actually afford to send a couple players out. If they take even one weapon away at this point, Cyber Legacy's buy in the next round would be severely impacted. And yeah, already taking one of them down, Glowing is quite low, so he needs to ensure he stays alive, and that's not going to be allowed. In the end, only one M4 is going to be salvaged. And with that, now Cyber Legacy might just have to take the eco and try and buy into the final round of the half. But, I mean, we'll see what they do. They could scrape one together again. Really, 6 would be the bare minimum that they'd want in this position, so I wouldn't blame them if they force up.
I think they have to at this point. I really don't think if you have double digits over to forZe as they move over to the CT side on Inferno, oof, I just don't see a scenario. But they're going to try and get that one round. They're going to try and get 5. That's what they're committing to. They're going for the half buy here. And admittedly, they do have the M4. We've seen them do some interesting things with some limited weaponry before. We'll see if it can happen again. I don't fancy their chances, but stranger things have occurred. Glowing spots one. It's CIS who actually gets the kill with the MP9, so that's face crack dropped down by the bench. They can't retrieve the gun, obviously. That would be just a little bit too nice. And now Mazer's now going to be waiting to do what damage he may. One player swings, and his C's quite low, and now Mazer takes the second. If timing had been there a little bit more, if Glowing had popped the shot as CIS is jumping across to distract the crosshair, that's really the way you want that setup to play out. forZe goes through the smoke. This is a desperation play, and considering it's their only rifle,
yeah,
I don't think it's worth it.
No, I don't enjoy that either. If you had to have one of the CZs maybe being flashed in through the smoke or something, that would have been a better play. But sending your only rifle out into a position where if it goes down, unfortunately no one else can retrieve it, is probably not ideal in this round, or in the position that they're in. They still have 2 set up on B, and forZe may head this way, considering they've already taken down one in this position. I wasn't sure if maybe they would think, okay, they've sent their rifle player out alone, surely they're stacked up around B, but it seems like they're still happy enough to go ahead and commit in with this. And that makes sense. They've got mollies to cover the bomb site, they've got smokes to put down. There's a smoke in the way, and I was going to say that could be a little bit dangerous when they're coming up close against the CZ, but it doesn't matter. Jerry jumping, tricky in the back. They actually hadn't cleared it out completely before trying to go for that bomb plant. And that's a weird play, but thankfully they only end up suffering one more casualty because of it. And with CIS done 24, I doubt there's really anything that he can do about this. Even with that AK, he may just want to back away, but we'll see.
Honestly, one of the concerning things that I'm seeing here for Cyber Legacy is we've had a couple of these plays where forZe are a little cavalier, shall we say, about the way they take the B bomb site. They kind of completely forget somebody could be hidden in the back of the site, and they just back into it. We've seen that at least 2 rounds now that I can think back on, including this one. And obviously, normally, you jump through the smoke onto a CZ player. Okay, Jerry, nice shot. You jump through the smoke onto a CZ player. The CZ player is likely going to have a bit of an advantage here, and Jerry just doesn't care. He deletes that player close up. So obviously, forZe are just kind of dominating on individual skill here right now, and they're getting very comfortable. They're going for these riskier plays. They're going for these faster plays. They're playing very loose. They're exploitable moments, and Cyber Legacy just cannot capitalize. So now we've got double digits. If they get to 11... so long. Thanks for all the fish. Get on out of here, Cyber Legacy. I see no world in which they make that comeback. If they can at least get this last round, rally a little bit of hope, maybe, just maybe, there's a slim window, a slim possibility, but this road does not get any easier. Cyber Legacy aggressive in the apartments to try and take that first pick. They've got the op watching apartment stairs. That is bold. Face cracks in the bedroom, but 2 kills towards Banana could make this easier. And another kill for Glowing. Suddenly, Cyber Legacy on top, 5v2. This round, certainly they have to see through.
I like this. The aggression down Banana, the aggressive stance in the apartments as well. It seems to have worked out pretty much everywhere on the map as Z-Power is left alone. And although he is a player we've definitely highlighted already and we've said he's incredible, there's no way that he can be winning a 1v5 here, right? Right, Mike? Please tell me that he can't.
I don't think so, but it is Z-Power. If there was going to be someone to do it, right, it'd be either him or Flit. Ooh, he's got 50 seconds to work with. They're not giving him
serious mistakes. Yeah, he's not going to be getting anything. If they had him started pushing, just giving him one-on-ones, then maybe. But if they just stick to their setup as they are right now, then it's pretty much impossible for him to do much more than maybe a kill or 2. If he can get this player up close, then maybe he can find another frag or so off the back of it and do a little bit of further damage. It could also be worthwhile Nah, never mind. I was going to say it could be worthwhile for him to maybe bring it back over towards B. If he could get those players at the bottom of mid, he would have been able to just run it up to B. But unfortunately, not going to be able to do that. Gets taken down in the end. And yeah, indeed, not going to be able to get a single kill on that one. That's as convincing as that final round possibly could have been. Unfortunately for Cyber Legacy, when they finally get a convincing CT round is when it doesn't matter because their economy doesn't carry over to the second half.
But maybe that was the rally round. Maybe that was the rally round that they needed to just sort of jumpstart their mentality of, okay, we can actually do this. We can win rounds. Now we just take it one round at a time. Light that fire. They bleed. We can kill them. Let's run it back. Unfortunately for them, I don't really fancy their chances here. We would generally lean this Inferno hedged decidedly towards the CT side, especially when you've got a very strong Opper, as we do, of course, have with Z-Power, and a strong double op setup, as we've seen with Flit and Z-Power, as we had on TUS 2. So this is going to be tough for Cyber Legacy. There are going to be no easy rounds here. forZe, we've got a halftime break coming in here. They can talk through what they want to do. If they get off to a hot start, it's all over. We need to see Cyber Legacy win another pistol.
Yeah, they found they found the two of them so far. They were able to find the opening pistols on
Yes.
both maps. Weren't able
Yes.
to get the one on the second half, unfortunately, on Dust 2, and this time they definitely need it. So we need to see them change that up. Their T-side pistol on Dust 2 looked fantastic, to be fair. It wasn't like it was anything special. They just played well. They pushed quick together. They stuck in positions where they could always trade and kind of used their numbers well. Here on Inferno, is that going to be allowed quite as easy as the question? Because if you're going for quick plays, especially if you want to go over towards Banana, you risk running into maybe a couple nades if anything's being bought up, which sometimes is the case. I think for forZe, though, we'll probably see them go a little bit more standard with just the kick coming out and then everyone else on Kevlar. They like being able to take those slightly more aggressive peaks and don't want to risk the aim punch. So many knives in the game now, man. I lost track of them a while ago.
I don't know what any of them are called. I just know which ones are pretty.
I used to know everything when there was a few knives, but I recently looked. My friend asked me how many knives is there in the game, so I had to go check, and there's 19 now.
Oof. The real question is, if you bought one of each, what would that run you? How many thousand? Would we be over $100,000?
Just don't do it.
I'm thinking about it now.
No, it wouldn't be that much.
I don't think you'd
of
clear
each
that much,
skin
no.
as well on it?
No.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
no. If it was of each skin, then yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was
you would
thinking,
clear
you'd
that.
be well over 100,000 then, yeah.
No problem. No, one of each of the 19 knives. I know some of them are worth many thousands of dollars, but no, I don't think you'd quite clear that. Maybe. If you bought like the most expensive color on each one, I think you'd get up there.
Yeah, but no sane person would do that. Speaking of sanity, we're
There's
getting
a
back
lot of-
into the game, so we'll see if we can keep it.
What is sanity? The question is, can Cyber Legacy keep it, right? Because obviously there's very little room for mistakes. One messed up round where you overexpose yourself and you give something away for free could be all it takes to topple you. So we're going to see heavy presence up Banana. They are just running this right down. There are 3 players here, and forZe backing right off. They go for the flower pots boost. They set up, and they wait. And Cyber Legacy stop for just a moment to dump their utility, but that moment's enough for forZe to float a 4th person over here. And here comes the hit. A Flower Pots boost doesn't get anything. Jerry's taken off of it, and here's the second kill in. Face Crack has at least found one, but one is all she wrote. Almazer's forcing this through the smoke, and he's getting a shot in the back of the head as a result as he tries to deny the plant. Z-Power will at least secure Banana, so this retake can happen, but he's got a second player to fight as they're coming off the site, all on Flit now. Flit is not going to make it happen here. Cyber Legacy, they take a pistol they desperately needed, and we see that aggressive pistol play that we saw on Dust 2, the T-side pistol, work out once more for them. Now, the second huge test for them here, Dean, a test they have not always passed. It's the force buy.
Yeah, sometimes this can be even scarier than the pistol itself. I think there was a bit of overconfidence maybe there from forZe on that kind of retake position, pushing through, trying to stop the bomb plant and such. I think just because of the fact that they were winning out so easy on the first half, they were willing to go for those individual plays a little bit more. And it's not like Cyber Legacy are bad. They aren't going to let you away with making those mistakes. Let's see. On the force buy here, as you said, definitely something to be feared. But the initial damage traded relatively equally. We do see the T side being able to get that banana control as well, which is quite important for them. At the moment, only 1 player they've sent up in that direction, and that's a little bit scary for me considering there's 3 players around B. It looks like they could be considering going a bit more aggressive maybe with it as well, considering they still have 2 players who can peek relatively up close. Oh, this is risky for CIS. Throws in the nade, and yeah, it is going to be pushed down. But even with the flash, thankfully he was able to get the vision just before it popped, and with that, sticks to the spray, commits to it, and will give them the opening kill. And I believe now realizing, obviously that there's at least one more player on B, but I think realizing there was one on the bomb site, or rather in towards the spawn, as well as the one who threw the flash itself. So with that, bringing it back towards A, expecting at most 2 players, but finding 0, because the stack had actually come in as the rotations went through for the CT side.
Now I'm curious to see. Okay, forZe are just going to sit. They're going to sit. They're going to see if anyone pushes into hunt. If they do, they're going to punish. Otherwise, they'll have another round with basically this force by less 1 player.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So it's a pretty good situation. You go into the stack and you're either going to gamble that they all come in and you get to damage them up in the hit, or you say, all right, we get to do over. We get to try one more time. It's the shell game, right? You're hiding this stack behind one of the shells. If they guess the right one, suddenly there's 4 deagles in their face. If not, well, play again.
Yeah, it's the nature of the stack, the gamble that you take with it. It also gives you, as you've said, the ability to save over and try again. So we'll see if Force by V2 is going to work out any better. Thankfully, they won't have to actually put the money in to get it. Will they give any pistols maybe over to Jerry? I'm wondering. Z-Power, obviously on 4,000, but he wants to bring out the op, so I don't think he'd really be dropping anything over. The others can't really afford to give pistols either if they want to ensure that they have their full buy in the next round. So yeah, I think they're not really going to bother giving him anything. He can just rock the USP for now. If he sticks with the bunch anyway, then they should be able to use those pistols to maybe overpower a little bit. And as you said, yeah, 3 HE grenades, as well as a few smokes and a flasher as well. The nades, though, the question is where are they going to be used and how quick do we see the initial push from Cyber Legacy? Does it put them in the danger zones? And no, apparently not. Just one in towards the tree, ensuring that they're not going to lose the banana control, but not really actively fighting for it until that nade had been thrown out. Oh, but look at this stack again, and with flashes ready. Yeah, Jerry's holding that. He's going to throw that over. CIS rather is in so much trouble.
Oh, if Flit had waited a moment there longer, he might have even gotten the second kill, but they still got the advantage. Here's tag up damage onto forZe. This is a catastrophe. They're just going to go through the Molotov, because why not? You want to catch this player off. That doesn't work. A smoke does clear it, so maybe a second more hesitation would have worked out for Almazer, but face crack! He's all the way over! And that's going to be further damage. Still 1 player to clear on site, and they may not realize it. There's nades, smokes flying past Z-Power's face. Z-Power could be their ruin here. They cleared out the mini pit, and Z-Power, he gets caught. Okay, disaster averted. Crisis dealt with. Jerry, the last potential thorn in their side. There was an AK behind him. I don't know if you realized that. I don't know if he just didn't want to give up the audio cue. He's going to be making his way out. And here comes the clear. He's been spotted, and he's been dealt with. Big kill for Tricky. Almost a catastrophe in that round, but Cyber Legacy just managed to hang on. And it feels like that's something I say about them a lot in these anti-force buys.
It feels like nearly every time. If we're being honest, even back on Dust 2, I remember you saying pretty much the exact same thing of them just about managing to hang on. And yeah, that's just a testament to how much they have been struggling with those force buys. The previous one obviously had been a bit cleaner, but that was because the save came in. And now we'll see, though, if forZe are able to keep it up. Now that they have the actual rifles, if they're able to maybe capitalize on some of those opening kills that they were finding even with the pistols. Look how quick this round is looking to be from Cyber Legacy, just straight up mid. Flit taking a very aggressive stance himself, ends up just getting 1 before going down, but he also done some good damage. And I believe Face Crack is actually going to catch them off guard. It seemed like Tricky was being cautious of that slight gap. Oh, and he gets another one blinded somehow. How the hell is Face Crack just managing to keep on going? He's eventually going to fall to Clack, surely, but at this point has now brought his team into a 3-on-1.
And they're coming in from all 3 sides, right? They've got a player moto, they've got a player pushing mid, they've got a player coming back. Clax, there is no safe haven. He's going to push one of the peripheries, and I like this from Clax, actually. He walks through Boiler, but Jerry's aware of it, and thinks a little bit too much of it. Peeks the angle, but not deep enough. Still Clax's position known. He's got to get back towards that bomb, and Almaze has gotten towards site, drops the player in towards mini pit. Clax knows where one is, but if he crosses here in towards pit, Z-Power is going to have him. And he hops up on the bike, tries to go for that shot, predicts the angle from Z-Power. Clack's so smart in this fight, but that's still not going to guarantee him anything. Now he's tucked into the corner. Still has to get towards that bomb to plant it, and Z-Power is coming looking. They're going to flash him. They're going to cross. That was risky from Z-Power, and now Z-Power's alone. Has to reposition. 25 seconds. Clax His patience is paying off. This would be the 1v3 clutch. But Z-Power's back in the angle, and Z-Power will make sure that Klax can't quite pull off that miraculous play.
So close. He played that really well, even going back around through the apartments initially to have the chance for another one-on-one before he actually pushed out to the bomb site. And unfortunately just gets caught there in the end by the rotation around Long. Overall, Amazar and Z-Power, they played it fairly well. They're just trying to run down the time as much as they could, pretty much playing with him while he was in the pit. But yeah, the one-on-one, it had my heart really going. I was a little bit afraid right there for them. As Cyber Legacy, they can be happy at least with the damage they were able to do right there, but they need to come straight in and win out this gun round right now. Otherwise, forZe are going to be in just a fantastic position building up that lead here on the CT side. Tricky hasn't taken all that much damage here. I was kind of surprised. The nades had come over, including the Molotov. He's able to stay up on 86. I don't know if forZe really want to follow up with this aggression that they were looking for. Seized, what the hell? While his teammate wasn't even ready to help him out right there, he tried to charge forward. Tricky had, I believe, just dropped down off of the logs and was about to get back up on them so that he could have the vision with the op. So he probably should have waited a second.
Or at least retrieve the bomb. Looked like a moment they were going to abandon it out towards Banana, which would have potentially been disaster. They're going to drop it down once again. Always a bit concerning, especially since they're going for a split play. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you get excited about going in. You forget, oh, wait, we need that C4. And right now, just in a default setup, this is great for forZe. They're going to boost a player on top of Nubox. That's Mazer. I'll play both players from back in this corner. Face cracks tucked by the Nook. Klax and Glowing making their way around lane just now, but they're not being given anything for free here. And Face Crack somehow gets that kill. He thought he was dead to rights once his position's compromised there, but he manages to get the kill, and he manages to fade away as well, which is huge. Glowing nearly catching him in transition, but doesn't. And from coldzera, that's Flit to bring in a big frag. Now it's disaster on site. Fostar will find one, but still has to clear Flit on site, and that is no easy task. This round is over 10 seconds. Tricky just has to try and save, and they're not going to allow him to do that. He's got an AWP. He's got a tuck tail and a run. He might just get away with it. It's a 12th round for forZe, and the money is going to be terrible for Cyber Legacy.
Thankfully, they let Tricky at least save over the op, but I don't know even if it is that much of a blessing, because obviously now his economy is in the gutters. He's left with 100. He's not going to have enough to buy alongside everyone else in this next round. Although he has the op here in this one, how much is he really going to be able to do with it, considering the rest of his pistols, the rest of his teammates are stuck to pistols? Mixing up the order of words there, but yeah, I mean, it's looking like this should be the 13-8, and then as I mentioned, Tricky going to be left down to probably just a pistol himself in the next round, depending on if maybe a teammate was willing to give him the op and go for the weaker weapon themselves. But either way, he needs to do a lot here, and maybe saving it again could be an option, but he doesn't want to be playing passive like that. He wants to see if he can win them this round out right now, and it's one that they do kind of desperately need. So let's see if he'll find that success.
Interesting to see. Sometimes you'll see teams set up where they leave the op on that half wall where it can take one shot and then fall back towards B, but this time they're just leaving Mazer all on his lonesome over towards the B site. They're playing another player tucked in the Nook. This time Z-Power, though, taking a shot in towards mid. The idea here is that Z-Power takes a shot, and there's no way they expect the SMG to be tucked in there in the corner. They'll back off of it, though. Give them a bit more versatility, but with 4 bodies here. Oh, the boost has come over. Ceased spotted one. He's trying to go for it. That shot's not going to land, but now they know what's up, and a Molly will deny it from the apartments. Missed shot for Tricky. That was really the one easy opportunity to kill in this round. Everything from here on out is a struggle. And between the Molly, between the bullets, they're going to be rebuffed out and think better of it. They haven't really found any inroads. 40 seconds now, and Z-Power back in the angle. This time he wins it. That's the op dropped. It can be retrieved, but where are they going to go with it? They've got nothing to work with. And now Jerry makes sure they're going to get nothing at all. fostar, last alive, no armor and a P250. He is done for. 13 rounds for forZe. And as we talked about it, because of saving the op in the previous round, the money is still very weird here for Cyber Legacy. They're going to go for a buy, but Tricky's going to be limited, presumably, down towards, I don't know, a MAC-10 or a Deagle, something of that nature. Whatever it is, Cyber Legacy are seeing their chances just drain away here.
And 2 Galils as well, actually. I just realized they had to pull out in order to get the full utility. So, yeah, the buy is... I was teaching you this word earlier. Their buy is a little banjaxed. Certainly not ideal. But it's not perfect for the CTs either. They actually have one MP9 in play. I'm not sure if that's exactly just because they want to go for that extra aggression, because Jerry has ran down towards the bench. Obviously, he had enough for an M4 if he wanted. The MP9 seems to be the one that he wants, though, the more maneuverability, and he may be able to catch the timing on that player at the bottom of ramp. Indeed, forZe goes down. Almazar going to be able to pounce. Jerry even follows up at a second, and this round, before it has barely begun, seems to be already over. It's only Klax that remains, and even then, he's taken damage, so I think they have a good idea about where he is.
I think we may be witnessing the swan song here of Cyber Legacy in this closed qualifier for New York, IEM New York. I have to adjust to calling that an IEM. My brain still wants it to be an ESL 1.
Yeah, true. You get used to it. I don't think Cyber Legacy are getting used to being left in these difficult clutch situations, though. It's not getting any easier.
You get a bomb plant.
Maybe. You forgot the bomb, though, yeah. That's not going to help.
That is a critical part, and now he's Thunderfoot. Why, man? Why? You had a chance to pick up the bomb. Obviously, I think he probably thinks that someone's pixel watching the angle, which they could be with the AWP, and so he wants to see if he can't catch the player at logs beforehand. I appreciate the idea. I understand the thought process there. It's just obviously not going to work out. It was a hopeless situation.
Down wasn't. I don't know what.
That I don't get.
About that, yeah.
You cleared it out. You're like, no one's logs, so no one is close by whatsoever.
Must be gone as well, yeah. 14 to 8 though. forZe, yeah, they're looking like they're trying to bring this over towards a quick 2-0 for themselves. As I'm sure most people would have expected looking at this matchup, I'm sure forZe would have been disappointed if they weren't able to, but Cyber Legacy, there's been some moments that have showed us what they're capable of, but I'm just sad they haven't been able to, I guess, keep that consistently, replicate that consistently. Face Crack, living up to his name there, gets glowing in the apartments. Flit is going to fall quickly to the Mach 10 though, so that's actually an M4 that's going to be retrieved now for the T's to work with. That's not bad. Unfortunately, forZe took damage, so yeah, they need to give that M4 elsewhere, and they will give it to CIS. They ideally give that Mach 10 over towards Tricky as well.
Well, Tricky was cut off from the body, and everybody else is going too. The body is following straight into the grave. Almazer escorting them through. He is Charon on the River Styx right now. forZe last to find his grave. And Jerry, how is he not in that Molotov? Okay, there's the tick coming through. Jerry might be fireproof here. forZe, he can't get towards bomb. He can't get even out of boiler because it is a boiling point just outside. He's going to be pushed from the hallways. Face Crack is almost certainly going to get this kill in just a fat moment. And indeed, it does come through. Map point now found for forZe. They have 7 map and series points in a row now to take the 2-0 and to advance here. And forZe, they don't seem to have a second doubt about it. It's going to be a very limited buy for Cyber Legacy. A few AKs, some Mach 10s, Galil's out here to try and make something happen. But they have been blanked of late. It has been 5 rounds in a row for forZe, and I think this is about to be a 6th here, Dean.
Yeah, with the buy again not being ideal, it should be forZe closing it out. This is definitely one of the tougher rounds the Cyber Legacy are going to have if they want to try and build back towards the overtime. But even if they were to get this one, it's still just such a long road ahead of them. Let's see though, maybe they can prolong it a little bit. Perhaps they can get another few gun rounds in. It's always nice, especially if you're a team who's looking to maybe have a look back at the demo. If you get an extra few gun rounds in, there's more to learn from. So perhaps that could be a positive here from Cyber Legacy, but we'll see what they're able to do. Already taken quite a bit of damage, unfortunately, for their efforts there of actually taking the banana control. So not really ideal when you already have some weaknesses to the round itself. The 3-man B stack that's in from forZe at the moment. It might be the incorrect decision considering the current setup from Cyber Legacy, and I'm also very surprised about the A setup, just one in Moto and then one around the long corner.
It is very odd, right? But I don't hate it, and it appears to be working. It seems to just be a hard read. CIS right now is going to need a Molotov. Not going to be able to go for that split onto Arch, but they're reinforcing towards Banana. Everyone's moving this way. Wow. I don't know what's prompting this read. I almost thought they were going to send a 4th player over, but that was just Z-Power repositioning. Now he spotted the 1. And now he knows. Now he's going back towards B. He's going to support. He says, okay, they're trying to work one through Arch. That means everybody else is coming onto this B bomb site. Now there are many crosshairs pointing this direction. Jerry takes the first, but the dominoes have started falling, and it's Jerry tipping them over. Clax gets 2, but it's just not enough. A 2v3 now. Clax has to do more work, and work he will do. Goes straight to it. Might be able to get the bomb down. C's coming in to support, but he's not there in time for his teammate. And if he crosses now, Flit will punish. The nade in, but how does Flit get that kill? He adjusts for it, and then Z Power takes the last with the P250. That is forZe advancing on, and Cyber Legacy getting dunked on out of here.
Yeah, in a pretty convincing fashion. What was it, 16-9 first map, or was it 16-8 as well?
Yes. 16... Ooh. You're testing my short-term memory here.
Yeah, I've terrible short-term memory as well. I'll actually get it open right now so that we can check that out. I think it was 16-9 back on the previous one, so even a little bit more one-sided here. Not too surprising. Yeah, 16-9 is what it ended on.
Yes, okay.
I wasn't sure. They ended up actually getting one more round, because I recall at one point you had mentioned that it didn't seem like they had got another round. They had got the 1, obviously, so I was thinking they might have ended on 8. But yeah, 16-9 on Dust 2, and then 16-8 here on Inferno. We expected Inferno to be the easier of the 2 maps for forZe, but I didn't really think that both of them were going to be quite as one-sided as they were. I was hoping to see more from Cyber Legacy, but yeah, I mean, I don't think that's the end of the road from them. There is the lower bracket, of course, that they'll be going down into, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
there's a chance to make a comeback here. forZe is really what we expected from them, right? This is what we expect them to do. Frankly, they're likely one of the heavy favorites to make their way into the IEM New York actual bracket, right? It's they're quite a strong team. They've been together for a long time. There's a lot of firepower here. There's a lot of synergy here. But for the legacy side, the Cyber Legacy side, there just wasn't enough to match them.
Yeah, unfortunately not. There was moments, as we said, but in the long run, just completely outplayed, especially back on Dust 2. We've seen the individual prowess of forZe just being way too much for them to handle. But of course, as we said, that's not the end of the road for them. They will be moving on down and taking on, I believe, either the loser of the SG Pro versus Ethereal game. But we're going to have to go ahead and send it over to a break for a while, guys. We're going to have K23 versus Invictus International. And K23, you might not recognize that name, but that is the rebrand of Simon, we believe. We were having a look at their Twitter. They rebranded out of absolutely nowhere. There was a small little announcement that didn't really stand out, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do as well. I think that's another game that unfortunately for us could be looking to be a little bit more clear cut than sometimes you want. But that is it, guys. We're going to send it over to a break, and it's going to be a while. It's actually going to be about an hour, so I would, if I was you guys, I would go ahead and head on over to the C stream as well, where you can check out Dinko and Hawka taking on that other game.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
to tell everyone about AT&T's big 5G news.
AT&T has nationwide 5G?
Yep.
And that's faster?
Faster, yeah.
But is it reliable?
Uh-huh, and secure.
You should consider making a big deal about it.
Bigger?
I said bigger.
Oh, bigger deal, bigger than what I'm doing.
It's not complicated. A 5G network needs a 5G device. Now everyone, including existing customers, can get a free Samsung Galaxy Note 20 after trade-in.
The future waits for no one, so we refuse to wait for it. Today, battles are waged in nanoseconds, and planes are piloted from the other side of the world. The future's not coming, it's already here. Join us and be the future.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams.
I've come to make a name, ready for battle. Cause I got a thing to claim. Think that I'll crumble. I'll show you a mistake. Where you see me coming, better run for cover. Cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster, I came to conquer. When all the smoke clears, I'll still be on my feet. Forget all of my fears, cause I know my destiny. I feel a champion waking inside of me. It's in motion, the legend's spoken. This is my moment. Can't break my focus, know where I'm going. This is my moment. Where you see me coming, better run for cover. Cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster, I came to conquer. When you see me coming, better run for cover. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. They're looking at us, an audience. Keep telling us what we can do, but here we are, showing them, making them wish they were you. We've heard the most when it comes to this. Yeah, every shade of blue, but don't even care what they'll say. They think we're out of control. Yeah, truth be told, we know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. 'Cause that we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids.
I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Savage, you've been distracted, your best my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I ain't need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Every day I wonder when I'm gonna peak at, and that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now.
I fell apart when I saw you look at me that way. It broke my heart to see. It was a moment of darkness, a moment in time that I regret for being so heartless. It was a moment of darkness. Look at me that way. It broke my heart to see. It's too hard, it don't come easy. I went dark, I lost it right away. And when it starts, God knows what I'll say. In my head, I had good reason. I went red so unexpectedly. I should have said that sometimes happens to me. It was a moment of darkness, a moment in time that I regret for being so heartless. It was a moment of
Embrace your destiny, slay your enemy, raise a legacy. No more apologies, trust your abilities, gather the energies. Pull yourself back together, been staying off track forever. Child of the nation, go seek redemption, time for salvation. Today is meant to be day of victory, time for history. Reverse the tendency, fight the entropy, channel your rivalry. You're praying for fortune to come, you're hearing the sound of the drums. It's too late to backtrack, go back your back now. Keep your feet on the road and stand up. You've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, 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 out. Stand up, up. You've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, up. You've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Go save your team, be a hero. Take home the cup, be a star. They're waiting for you, take aim, shoot your arrow. It's your time to shine, show them who you are. Stronger, gotta go faster, gotta get better, gotta work harder. It's fight or flight now, get up now. Go with the move, go for the goal, lead up the stadium, you know how it's done. Stand up, up, go what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, up, go what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out, out. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you back out, out. Give all you got and show them how to make a miracle. love for the last time. This ain't a song, it's a battle cry. No life. I see the clue between the strobe lights. I'm haunted, black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Used to want it bad, used to want it bad, but I can't taste it. I can't help you now, okay? Follow me around, okay? Black face. Got too much up on my plate, now I can't think. I said woke up, take a exit, now I'm feeling this is it. Want the money, want the rest. I do purse, not no sex. They say Darnish, why you sad? I said I just need the thing. Red tape, got too close, I hate the city. Black face, show you everything you need to your phone. Can't hit it bad. Someone said it's sad. I used to want it bad. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you too many times. Yeah. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you. I know it's in my head. Follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my
I was dancing on my own when you spilled that rum and coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby you make me feel something.
and I'll take it. Yeah, reminded myself to just let go. Don't wonder how far I can fall. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out.
I've been working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams now lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Tell me everything's alright. Life is just a bunch of phases, and if it's not, we'll still be fine. I know we're going places. I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much.
sports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down in laughter, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. Book a plane, fly away. We will never be the same. And as long as you are mine, come on and run away. We wanna run away. We don't need any reasons, baby. Leave it all for the faded hearts. I don't mind if they call us crazy, 'cause they don't understand what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. We're no kids no more. I need to feel alive in this dreadful town. I'm running out of time, and as long as you're mine, I wanna run away. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. Oh, I see the signs and I see we're there, and I feel the lies and I feel the same. Forever hold, no matter if we cast away, a fire in the dark. I know that you won't be where again. I know that you won't be where again.
Woo!